everybody, and welcome to another edition of Press the Action Button podcast here on digital-delirium.com. As always, I am your host, Joystick. With me this week is Teabag. Say hello to the people, Teabag.
I'm back, and I'm better than ever.
He's not the only one that's back. Also with us this week is D-Pad. They haven't heard you in a long time. Say hello to the people, D-Pad.
Yeah, I'm back to the beat, y'all. You know I got the rhythm so sweet, y'all. That's Beastie Boys. Just please don't sue me for copyright infringement. Rest in peace, MCA.
Yeah. Kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Oh, you did.
It's definitely kind of fun. Yeah. Also with us this week is Gameface. Say hello to the people, Gameface.
I am so freaking high right now.
Hey, watch it, Popo.
Okay. Please don't sue me. Team 4-star. Team 4-star sue someone.
I don't think they're a company, so I don't think they can sue for copyright.
But they can get sued.
But people within them can sue.
Yeah.
You mean they can sue each other?
Team 4-star, they're just going to
collectively... Anybody can sue anybody. That's how it works.
Anybody can sue anybody for any reason. I'm suing you because your grass grew on my lawn. That's what we're doing here today. Exactly. Okay.
Grass grew.
We are this week. We are drinking Tecate Cerveza from
Tecate.
Yeah, Tecate. Tecate from
Tecate.
Mexico. You guys want to crack?
Tecate, inner circle, that kind of thing.
Or do you want to stare at your beer? So you're not holding it in your hand.
You guys both have beers, you realize.
I'm
not drinking.
Will you drink if I drink?
I'm not gonna. I know. I don't want to drink at all.
That's cool.
Okay.
I
myself, I'm having an energy drink. Amp, the energy drink of choice. I just don't think that and beer is a good combo.
Doodly-doo, crack it.
Crack your beer, Josh.
I just cracked my beer.
Josh is the only one drinking beer.
Stop saying crack!
He's drinking
Do you
beer
dab?
too.
He's drinking
Dab?
beer.
What? Dab?
Do you dab?
What do you mean
I
by dab?
dab.
Stop saying dab! Musk! Musk! That's just my natural musk. Stop saying musk!
He should have replied to that with mahogany.
Whoa.
Mahogany.
I am so confused right now.
Dragon Ball Z abridged.
That's also why that's also why Gameface
Call me Alex.
said,
What?
said I am so freaking high right now at the beginning of the show.
That I recognize.
It cracked us all up. That cracked him up. It was punny.
It was pretty funny.
There's a pillow in front of the air conditioner. Why?
Speaking of being so freaking high right now...
Is that better?
You high?
Well, no, not exactly. I took my first mefloquine pill today.
Malaria!
Yeah.
Oh.
Malaria medication.
Is that like methamphetamine?
No, it's
Please don't eat my face.
Mefloquine. I don't think
that's bath salts.
I don't think it's bath salts either. I'm pretty sure
How do you know bath salts aren't mefloquine?
I just know they said it was bath salts. And then I saw a picture of like two husky puppies, and the one was biting the other one on the nose, and it just said bath salts.
So I saw that. It's a really cute picture.
It is.
Because they're just like nuzzling each other. They're not actually viciously biting.
Yeah, it's like a play bite, but it was cute. And bath salts.
Zombie
puppy.
This like horrible personal atrocity has just been made into like the cutest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's like the picture of the husky that looks kind of like Wolf O'Donnell from Star Fox. Like, got this kind of like sinister look on his face, and it just says, "Playtime is over now, Star Fox. Cuddle time starts now."
Except that's not from a horrible atrocity. That's from a pretty damn good video game.
That's what we think in America.
Well, in Japan they think it was a good video game.
Not in Russia.
Have you had lucid dreaming yet?
No, I mean I just took the medication today before I came over here.
It's the once a week pill, right?
It's a week,
Yes.
and I'd like to explain that before I go on with the audience here, thinking that I have malaria. I don't actually. I'm just going into a foreign country where malaria is prevalent. Well, not prevalent, but it's there.
Kansas.
Yeah, he's going.
No.
He's going into Kansas.
No, I'm not
that
going
foreign
to
country.
Kansas. Okay, I'm going to New Jersey. No, I'm just kidding. But
Shut up!
New Jersey should
What
be
are
a
you
foreign
doing?
country. New
Malaria
Jersey is
would
not
live in
cool
New
enough to be
Jersey.
part of the United States.
hey, there's all kinds of diseases there that you
Talking.
just don't want to come back with. All right.
Yeah.
When you cross over the New Jersey border, they have to check you
Yeah,
for
and Snooki
No,
has
he's
like
actually
all
going
the-
to Ecuador.
Snooki diseases. Yes, I'm going to Ecuador.
When
in
are you
South
leaving?
America. I
5th.
leave on the 5th, so that's this week is my last full week, and then I leave halfway through the next week, and I have to be taking.
Well, thanks for
Mefloquine.
stopping by the show in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, really,
this
thank you.
might be the last recording of me ever.
Ian could die. Ian could be dead.
Also,
Ian,
could
if you
I?
die, Garth, if you die in Ecuador, I'm gonna fly to Ecuador and kick your dead body's ass for it. That's what I'm gonna do.
I could. Well, I mean, I could die driving to work in the morning, so it's whatever. I'm not worried about it. But I have to be taking anyway. So I have to be taking mefloquine to prevent from getting malaria, and it's a weekly pill that I have to take, which side effects include mild hallucinations and lucid dreaming. And I think that's really cool.
I used to take some kind of I don't remember what kind of sleeping pill. A
Ambien.
pill to help. Yeah, it was Ambien.
My
It gave me
mom was
weird
actually
dreams.
just talking about that today. She said she took it for a while. She had to stop. I just kind of stopped
I slept
unofficially stopped taking my own medication this weekend.
Oh, that's fantastic, everyone.
No, it is.
95%. Most of the time when I took that pill, I would fall asleep really quickly afterwards, and I would get 8 hours of sleep and wake up and feel good. But damn, I had some weird dreams.
So
about
you would
it.
wake up and feel good and sit up in bed and go, ah!
I would wake up and I would be like, "What the fuck was I dreaming about?"
You'd wake up and you'd be like, oh, gotta get to work.
So this weekend. What?
Alex, I think that
Occupation-
scream of yours.
Occupational
just-
humor.
people.
Occupational humor.
Okay.
It's really hot in here. Why?
It is really
I don't know.
hot.
Turn,
Hey, I don't
turn
think
the
it's that
AC on, like, off of,
I don't think it's that hot in here.
You want to turn the...
I didn't notice until someone said something.
You want to turn the AC off of, like,
Oh my god, no, I guess now that everyone thinks it's hot in here, it is hot in here.
Let's just all think it's cold.
Feels much better now.
Yeah,
is it on
here.
fan? Was it on fan and not cool? So it's on...
Ah, there it goes.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Much better.
So, Alex, you and I went to actually see Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter yesterday.
Yeah,
Is that out right now?
It's very
Yeah, it
good,
just came
yeah.
out this weekend.
Well, I hope so. Otherwise, what did we see?
A movie.
We just sit in the parking lot at the theater and just go,
Imagine what Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter
You
might be
dropped
like
the
when
whole
it comes
thing.
out.
damn that Ambien.
Somebody slipped something into your drink, and you just thought you watched a movie. You went to
We had a group
you
hallucination, Alex and I.
you parked in a chair, and you parked in a parking lot, and you two just
It
sat
turned
in
out
a
to be a
car
furniture
and
store.
made up an idea. There really is no vampire.
Dude, you know that would be
Vampire
the
Hunter.
best movie in the world, is one that we didn't really see. You know how cool that would be? It'd just be like, we both just thought of the same outrageous movie at about the same time, and we're not sure what was in it.
Well, hey,
But
I
it was
want
awesome.
to make an outrageous movie. I told you about my outrageous movie about the...
Jack's back.
No, the other one. About the potatoes.
Oh, Attack of
Attack
It's
of the
just one of
Space
three
Buds.
ideas.
Buds, right.
I have 3 ideas for ridiculous movies.
3.
One is about a zombie from the Titanic. The other one is about zombie bin Laden
Zombie bin
declaring
Laden, yeah.
jihad on the United States and establishing the city of Baghdad.
I made a joke about that during
Dead.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Was it Vampire Hunter or Vampire Slayer?
Hunter.
Hunter. Thompson.
You don't really slay vampires, I guess. Like, they're already dead.
It's a challenge to kill what is already dead. Oh, I haven't heard that one before. Hector.
Did it turn out that the vampires were the reason he died?
Henry.
They
Well,
left that vague.
They left that out of... In the book? Yes.
There's a
In the
book.
book? Yes.
It was a yeah.
I read
Yeah,
it.
It was
John Wilkes Booth was a vampire in the book.
Okay,
Of course.
but not in real life. Let's
But
let's
they didn't,
not,
show,
let's not
see,
confuse.
they didn't show John Wilkes Booth. They just said, "Oh, we're going to the theater," and that's where it left off with Lincoln.
Okay.
and this guy.
We all know what happens there.
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's good that
Yeah,
they
he
did
fell
that.
off the end of the world. Oh, wait.
But also in the book, after that, it like flashes forward to Martin Luther King giving the speech.
Why did they gotta bring
his
Martin
big "I Have a
Luther
Dream"
King into
speech?
this?
And then, like, off to the side, it was Abraham Lincoln and his vampire friend Henry just standing there watching this speech.
Turns out Martin Luther King was a Blackula.
But no, it was like...
There weren't any Blackulas in that movie. That's kind of... There weren't, were there?
Well, it was during slave times.
They could have been Blackula-fied.
Was it good?
The slaves were like
It was pretty good, yeah.
Was it? Really?
It definitely strays a lot from the book.
But which strays a lot from history, so...
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean...
to be fair, the parts of the book that aren't about vampires are very, very historically accurate to Abraham Lincoln's life.
What are those?
A good portion of the book is very, very historically accurate. I mean, it finds ways to intertwine vampires to fill in a bunch of gaps and things we don't know about his life, but it's all there. Everything we know about his life is in the book, and that was actually pretty cool.
Oh.
In the movie, it strays from that quite a bit, and it just plain leaves some stuff out, but the visual style of the movie is awesome. It is a gorgeous movie to look at.
Gorgeous.
And the action sequences in the movie are both unique and creative, and
I couldn't stop laughing,
fun.
though, at that scene with the stampede of horses.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
They're jumping off their wall, kicking off horses and landing on horses and mounting and dismounting and, like, fighting each other amidst, like, this stampede of horses. And I couldn't help but think that I kept hearing, like, speeding traffic noises every time a horse went by the camera, and it was just cracking me the hell up.
But that was one of the cooler and more memorable action scenes in the movie. That and the fight on the train,
which I couldn't help but think of Back to the Future Part 3.
There's two high-speed chase, well, not chase, but there's two high-speed fight scenes.
In a manner that is appropriate to the time period. Yes.
That's interesting. That's interesting that they did that without cars.
It was really, really fucking cool, though.
Well, one part that I thought
inventive.
There were a few anachronisms, and they weren't too glaring. But the one that really cracked me up is when what was his name?
Henry.
Henry, yeah. I keep wanting to say Hector or like Herman.
No, Hector sounds like
Kane.
like
a hunchback.
Knights of the Round Table.
Hector sounds like a hunchback to me.
Yeah.
Well, there's a scene where he was giving like this presentation. Henry was giving this presentation on like all the people, like all the vampires he knew of, and like how far back the whole vampire thing goes. And at one point, it cuts to him, and he's like showing a slideshow, and you're like, "Wait a second, what is he doing?" And he's got one of those old like kerosene-powered like still projectors, which they actually did have at the time. But then they show like this like hardcore looking like shot of like this one guy wearing sunglasses, and then it starts to become animated, and he's like slowly like frame by frame taking the shades off in like this menacing fashion. And I thought that was just like cinematics, but then it pans out and they've got like this pinwheel thing around like a kerosene lamp, and he's like spinning it, and I was like, no, you don't have video clips for mugshots. What are you doing? What is he doing? Where did that come from?
Well, I think you can cut a little bit of slack, though, because it's a movie about vampires starring Abraham Lincoln. I mean, come on.
This movie is to be taken 100% seriously.
But it didn't have Lopan.
Everything could use more Lopan. You guys want to get to the topics?
Sure.
Lopan, man, every single Power Ranger.
Man.
Okay.
I popped the man cherry.
We have to... First and foremost, we have to give our congratulations to the gamers out in Australia. You guys finally won. We've talked about this in the past. We talked about it. I know the first time I talked about it was when they held a protest to try to get M-rated games over there.
They finally put a death to Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
Okay.
And they were all dressed as zombies out protesting for this. And I thought that was pretty cool. We talked about it on the podcast. And we mentioned it a few other times, and they're finally getting an M rating over there. So all the violent games that we get, like Grand Theft Auto,
thank God, the world
first-person
is
shooters,
that much of a better place now.
and stuff like. Well,
it is. Either that or Australians screwed.
This is a landmark decision for civil rights.
They're like WTF.
Well, I think it is in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. It's freedom of expression. I think it's a good idea.
Think of how many angsty Australian teens will finally shut the hell up now. Oh man, what our government does to us is so unfair. Shut up! You can't vote.
Well, not just teens though. I mean, there will be
Obviously,
gamers over there our age
affected.
who can't get like Mortal Kombat. Like there was a well over $1,000 fine on anybody caught importing the newest Mortal Kombat game, and that's just ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
And this isn't going to happen in the future.
To be fair, the new Mortal Kombat game was pretty brutal.
Yeah, it was.
You could, like, eviscerate people, and it wasn't just like, like on old school video games, you cut somebody in half and it's like blood. No, you see everything fall out. You see people's insides. That's...
Yeah, it is insanely violent, but still, that's a prime example. I mean, and there's games that are far worse than Mortal Kombat. Like, have you ever played Manhunt?
Yes.
That game is just fucking disturbing with how violent it is.
PS2. Yeah, there was like, eyeball
it's
gouging
it's like some guy just tells you, suffocate this guy with a garbage bag. And I'm like,
spit on his corpse with
are
a
you
sport.
fucking serious?
You gotta do it. And I remember about that game is, the longer you had to sneak up undetected behind somebody to make a kill, and the longer that you were sneaking them undetected, the more ferocious the attack would be.
Oh yeah, I do remember that, and that is admittedly satisfying.
It is pretty satisfying.
Well, I'm not saying there's not a certain, but
as a race, like
that's about as violent as video games can get. Is that game?
Yeah,
but this even prevents, like, I hate to go to this cliche, but it prevents games like Call of Duty from coming over there.
Why is that a cliche?
Well, because it's like the poster child. People point to it and blame it for everything.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is one of the more modest. I mean, it
is, but it's also the most popular, so it's the one that instantly gets the blame.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that works.
It's like people blaming like Grand Theft Auto and South Park for everything.
I remember when those were the two things to point the finger at.
And then it was
Marilyn Manson.
It was Halo.
That was before.
It was Halo after that. Before that, it was,
I don't think Halo
Doom
ever
or
got
Quake.
the blame for anything, because you
No,
don't
I've
actually
heard that
see
because
blood
the
in
Trench
Halo,
Coat
do you?
Mafia, the Columbine shootings, they played Halo. So people
No, they
thought
played
that
Doom.
Oh yeah,
So people
who
thought
was
that
that?
they
The
played that to
sniper,
train
the
for
DC
their-
sniper.
Yeah, one of the guys that
Played Halo.
did shoot, one of the guys that was participated in the Columbine massacre was he actually created levels for Doom.
One of the
And
people in
people
the
saw
Columbine,
this
they were in
and-
high school. What? Columbine?
Yeah, the Columbine. Doom was released in 1993, dude.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they were high school students.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they worked at a game studio. Wait, I don't get.
No, that he just did it because in 94 or whatever, ID Software released a map editor for Doom for the public to just use at their whim.
Okay. All right.
And they actually would gather together the best maps and put them on collections called D-Zone that you could buy in stores back then. And he
Man, that is
created a
cool.
bunch
I
of
wish I
maps
had
and
done that.
hosted them all online, and then people saw this, go, oh, he played Doom, that's why he's violent.
Could be.
yeah,
We should ban all video games. Video games should be banned.
So.
So I've never played Manhunt, but I have played Man.
Man.
Wait, what's his name?
Man.
Man.
Man. His power is that you're a man.
Obviously, we'd like to extend a huge congratulations to Australian gamers. You guys finally won. Those of you old enough...
Oh, snap!
All of you old
I
enough
gotta watch
have
Zero
to...
Punctuation now. See what he says about that.
He probably does say something
He's
about
probably
it.
already out killing people, so he's probably not doing any shows, but I guess I'll find out.
Yeah.
That's right, I forgot he was Australian.
But don't you know that all
He's
the people
English, but
in
he lives in
Australia
Australia.
are gonna go out and buy like the very first M-rated game they get just because it's like a monumentous occasion for them?
Yeah,
And whatever it is will sell like fucking crack, you know?
Conker's Bad Fur
I
Day.
imagine it being such a happy day on the streets. People are like giving each other
There's like
hugs
rainbows
and
in the
stuff.
sky
Yeah,
and fucking
everyone's
balloons
smiling,
everywhere.
Everything's like living in the
Bloody-
sunlight, loving
bloody
in the moonlight,
chainsaws.
having a wonderful time, and they're like playing violent video games to their heart's content.
Playing violent video games while listening to Tiny Tim sing about having a wonderful time. Makes me want the first game over there to be like Lollipop Chainsaw or something
Yes.
ridiculously
Supposedly,
violent and
it's
over the
really
top like that.
Lollipop Chainsaw, I've never
D-Pad,
heard of
have
that
you
one.
seen the previews for Lollipop Chainsaw?
I've never heard of it.
Freaking... Okay, it's a giggly, kind of like Japanese schoolgirl-ish looking
Who's hot?
cheerleader. Who's hot.
Okay.
And probably underage. And, she's... I see the high fives going up. That's so wrong.
He's like, yeah, underage, woo!
Did
She...
I really just high five you for that?
Yeah.
Hey, well,
You need brain bleach now?
no, I actually have clothes in the dryer.
Okay.
Dryer that's... Or no, they're in the washer. Probably ready now.
You're not going anywhere. I'm going to tell you about Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay.
Fag. I'm sorry. Okay, this girl, she's a cheerleader, and her high school gets zombie infected. So she goes out in cheerleading gear and takes a chainsaw to her. And that's the
That
game.
sounds like the one girl from...
And it's like Devil May Cry, except
yeah.
for schoolgirls.
Yeah.
And she's got like
Did
a
you guys
belt loop
see-
with her boyfriend's like disembodied head
Yes.
hanging like right off of her ass.
I did not notice that.
That's metal.
Yeah.
Colin
And it
bought
talks to her.
That's like a combination between O-Ren from Kill Bill
Yes.
and High School of the Dead.
Yes.
If you guys have seen that.
O-Ren is
anime.
hard.
You'll be shocked by this, but it's a Suda 51 game.
Pseudo 50.
What did they do again?
No more heroes.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Killer 7. That doesn't
Yes.
surprise me at all. I was actually imagining like that kind of art style when you were explaining the premise.
Yeah, it's one of his games.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it doesn't-
shocking,
doesn't
right?
shock at all. Alright, I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll pause till you get
Oh.
right back. You don't have to pause? Well, the next topic is about Final Fantasy VII getting released on Steam.
That is probably the most... let me just say before you pause that is probably the most re-released game in the history of Since Forever.
Well, they are going to add some things to it. The Ocarina of Time's been re-released multiple times.
Is it paused?
Okay.
Let's look at the door.
That's old. I
Pass up
apologize.
my balls in the hallway.
Leading directly to the heart of the enemy. We didn't come all this way just to miss the chance to pass up my balls in the hallway. Let's go. Have you seen this feedback? It's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood Outtakes, and it seems like fabricated, but it almost seems like an AMV hell, except they're actual outtakes from the actual voice actors. They're
It's in the bonus features of the DVD if you buy it, and it's just like the voice actors like messing around, like times that they had to redo the voice recording because they were like, oh, this would be hilarious to put in. Let's say this instead, and some of them are pretty funny.
Okay, so earlier this month, Square Enix put up a website that was FinalFantasy7PC.com, and
PC.
yes,
politically correct.
Pancreatic cancer.
yeah, Final Fantasy VII.
Porn child.
That's going to be what Aerith dies of in this version of Final Fantasy VII is pancreatic cancer. Doesn't get killed by a sword. No, pancreatic cancer. She's just going to drop over dead in the middle of some battle.
Right, and it's a big emotional
you see
scene.
Sephiroth descending out of the sky with like a stethoscope.
Oh god!
He just like freaking like sticks it on her chest.
And she
And
falls.
she goes, and then just things pops up. And it's like Aerith got pancreatic cancer, and then she just like, I can't go on. She just like does a nosedive off of the.
Just just dives into the water into the city of the ancients.
Oh my god, how long are we gonna joke about cancer?
Okay, yeah, we're horrible people. We're horrible people. Okay,
you know what Inception is?
Josh, I like your shorts.
You're gay.
You're gay.
What about my shorts?
I like them.
I thought you
Okay.
meant, there's no defining feature about
I like them.
I like your shorts too, Paul.
Josh.
Alex, what did you say? You said
So-
something about Inception? Complete thought?
You know what Inception is?
No, what?
You're gay.
That's what Kevin Smith said. Was like, you go into someone's dream and force them to be gay in real life.
You didn't see. That is the funniest clip ever. I almost want to take a break just to watch that.
Okay. Anyway,
Can we have a your gay break?
earlier that. Can I finish
break.
Can we finish this topic and then do that?
Let's talk about Porn Child. That was the other thing.
Earlier this week, on said website, they listed that it was coming to Steam and it was quickly taken down. But the listing did give a few details for people that were able to see it, and they said they will add 35 achievements for it on Steam, and there will be character boosting items as well as cloud saving, no pun intended.
Okay, that took a minute. That was okay.
That was. I don't know why that's so funny. It shouldn't be.
Cloud saving.
Yeah, you'll
I
be
guess
able to
it's
save
funny
your
because
game
it's
to the
not
cloud
Right,
and continue from any
just like all
PC.
the Steam games.
Yeah. So, I wonder though, is this going to come with like a higher resolution version of the game? Like you
No.
would be able to.
No, that would be nice.
That would be too
They
obvious.
would have to go back and rebuild the whole game if they wanted.
Well, it's common for that to happen with games on Steam. Though it gets re-released and it's got like a higher resolution edition.
Well, you know that for polygons, for like 3D games that involve polygons, like bitmaps you can't really upscale. You'd have to use some artificial software. But for polygons, in the older games, they rendered at low resolution. But all you have to do to make it render at a higher resolution is just like bump up the. It's just like one.
Well,
variable.
like the polygons, for
Yeah,
one
just-
thing, yeah, I could see that they could just go in and rebuild the character models.
No, they wouldn't even have to do that. The polygons
Well-
themselves will render at higher resolutions.
Okay, yeah.
They'll just look blocky.
I mean, they could do that because there's only
Well, they were
there's
gonna
only
look-
a set number of characters that they would have to re-render or do whatever to make them look more realistic. But if you remember about Final Fantasy VII, is that most of the game is not polygons. It's actually like polygons running around
On bitmap backgrounds.
images. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I do remember Vincent's cape turning into a plank that one time.
Oh, when it glitched up.
What happened? He was like doing like this goose step.
No,
It was
he
like-
looked fine while he was walking, but as soon as he stood still, like the cape would go straight up.
Yeah,
like
the
silver.
PC version was quite a bit glitchier than the PlayStation 3 PlayStation 1 version of the game.
What
And
about Dilbert?
I imagine
The
they would
cape
have
went-
some kind of patches that
yeah.
would fix that kind of thing on this. Because it's common for Steam games to get patched all the time as well. So I imagine Square would be paying close attention. Oh, that glitch, let's go fix that, you know?
Right.
So that might actually be kind of cool for a lot of people. Although I wonder how many people even remember that there was. What the hell are you laughing at?
This is like a horrible
Wait, what?
I don't know. I'm confused.
Say that again. Tom,
I said this is like a horrible motif of our life.
wow. I'm actually sorry that I asked you to repeat that.
My universe feels smaller now.
Why?
Well, I'm wondering how many people out there remember that there was a PC version of this game because
That's the only one I ever played.
Yeah, that's what me and Alex
I
grew
remember
up on.
being in middle school and my music teacher played Final Fantasy VII before I ever did.
Isn't that embarrassing? Well,
Yeah.
music teachers are pretty, but
Yeah, like
I remember
Tim's
we
mom.
when the
Like all of them.
N64 and PS1 generation came, we were still fans of Nintendo, so we went with N64 in a heartbeat.
Well,
Then
it was
we just
because
never
I
had
didn't
the money
believe
or
in
the
playing a
time.
game off of a CD. I thought it was retarded.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I didn't get a
yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
It turned out
I
it was
liked
also a lot
cartridges, and
more
I still like
expensive.
cartridges. It's a shame that they're like almost.
Yeah,
completely
only
gone.
the Nintendo DS still has cartridges.
So
And
does
aren't
so
even
does the
still,
Vita.
Aren't they,
So does the
aren't
Vita.
the cartridges CDs inside?
No, that's PSP.
Oh, okay.
The
Wait, what?
PlayStation Vita and the 3DS both run off of
Oh,
cartridges.
really?
as
So
well.
the
the
Vita went back
3DS
to
does.
cartridges.
Yeah.
You know what? The people
tiny
I was in
memory
line
cards.
with at the Too Many Games convention, with the one guy, he showed me his
Vita?
no his 3DS,
Hmm.
and that was the first time I'd ever seen a 3DS, and it's really 3D. Like, I mean, I've never seen something so 3D, let alone
Really?
without on a screen, Tom.
Got it.
3D than life. The other
But this is the
You laugh, like-
3DS. It's more 3D than real life.
That'd be cool
Alternate
if
a
it
Futurama
was.
quote?
Do we really need a dimension that we're not going to use?
I don't know.
There-
I don't know.
No,
I have a
I'm-
friend, Eric, actually can't see in 3D. Like,
Huh.
can't
Why
see in
not?
3D at all, and he still has a 3DS, and he still loves the thing. So
That
people who can't see in 3D can still get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
I'm just
Just-
surprised that you don't need any glasses. You can just look at it, and it just jumps out right out at you. And I didn't think it would be as high quality as it was. But
Well, I imagine how high quality it is depends upon the game and how much effort they put into making it 3D.
I was playing Kid Icarus, and it's like,
That game looks cool.
yeah, it looked pretty cool.
And the
But
other
and
person
everybody
in
said
line.
like it'll give you a headache. It gives some people headaches. I didn't just get a headache.
Yeah, while we're speaking about the 3DS, the next topic is Nintendo has announced a redesign for the 3DS. Shock. They announced redesigns of every single handheld console they've ever made.
Oh my god, that's true.
It is 90% larger and has about an hour and a half more battery life.
And Leon's
It com-
getting larger!
It comes with a 4GB SD card. There are no other hardware changes. So I think they dropped the ball big time on this by not taking the opportunity to add a second analog stick. It's very, very good for controlling cameras, and especially in like 3D platformers, which they're very capable of. In fact, they have done on the 3DS with Super Mario Land 3D or whatever it was called. The one that looks like a cross between Super Mario 64 and Super Mario 3 on the 3DS.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember the name for it though.
Okay, so, stupid question.
What?
What did we talk about on last week's podcast? I fell asleep.
E3.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Who was talking then?
It was me and Eric.
Oh, okay.
Eric watched all of the conferences, so we sat there and chatted about it and wrapped it all up. And
When I was listening to you editing it turns out I actually missed some kind of interesting stuff. But, like, the first two topics, I was like, I just realized I have nothing to say. So I took the headset off and, like, leaned on my elbow for 20 minutes. And then I was like, I'm going to bed. I felt kind of bad about that, but then I didn't.
I wasn't trying to.
I don't care.
Well, whatever.
It's all good. I wasn't mad. I was glad. I don't know.
This new model is called the 3DS XL, and obviously it falls in the wake of the DSi XL, which was the much larger version of the DS, which also didn't come with a lot of hardware changes. But I think first of all, they should have learned from Sony's mistake with the PSP and put a second analog stick in it. Sony learned from their own mistake and put a second analog stick on the Vita. Why didn't Nintendo?
Well, I guess they have to be different in some way. I don't know.
I don't
They're
know.
about the D-pad. Hey, I'm just representing the D-pad here. I'll bring that
Well,
up time to time again.
I'm not
D-pad.
nothing against the D-pad, especially for fighting games. The D-pad is perfect for fighting games. It's much better for fighting games than a thumbstick
Hey
is.
guys, remember the 4th generation when we first started having, like, 3D games and all we had was, like, 3 buttons and a D-pad and a start button? Remember that?
Okay, wait, the 4th generation. I'm sorry, I don't...
The 4th generation is Super Nintendo,
Oh, yeah.
Sega
back then
Genesis.
it
Sega
was...
Genesis,
TurboGrafx
Atari Jaguar.
16, Atari Jaguar.
Did they have, like truly 3D games?
It was like
A few.
Method 7. I mean, they had F-Zero.
I remember they had, like, Wolfenstein, but that was really just
There's
A
Bitmaps.
few, and most
It
of
was,
them were for like the
it was
Sega
Method
CD.
Method 7.
Yeah, Method
Whatever
7.
Like what is that one
Mario
game
Kart.
that has good music and like sucks other than that, where you're going around shooting the polygons, and on my... I own it for the...
that game...
That game. I think it's just
You know what
called
I'm
that
talking
game.
about.
I know which one, yeah.
You played it.
Where I cannot get past the first boss to
Yeah.
save my life.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
were like sitting there, you're like, I'm determined, I'm gonna do it tonight, and then you didn't.
And I didn't. I know, I'm really disappointed that happened.
But that game was
What's
3D,
That, Alex, what is that game called?
I don't remember.
and
Zelda?
Yeah.
Yes.
we'll go with that. Star Fox was 3D.
Oh yeah, for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I forgot.
Very, very
about
good game, even
It's very
today. It
polygonal.
looks like ass, but it's a good game.
I have a version, or had a version, I don't remember, of Virtua Racer for Genesis.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
one with the Formula 1 cars?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
So obviously
The
they
one
had.
that isn't race driving.
Right.
Obviously, they
it
had
was terrible.
some 3D games for the 32X, like Virtua Fighter on the 32X was 3D, and like back then it was a huge deal. Like,
I
oh my
remember
god,
that.
check it out! The character just blinked, and that was the big deal.
I remember it in the fourth generation times, I guess you would call it. Sometimes they would have cutscenes that were in 3D, and by that I just mean like on Chrono Trigger, or no, not Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, at a scene where they would normally blast you out of a cannon. They would have your two-dimensional character flying through three-dimensional space for a second, and then you would land.
Yeah, and they had a
Sounds
scene
yeah.
that was like that in Final Fantasy VI, where you were on the cart going through the mines, almost like the scene in Indiana Jones. You remember?
Is that where you mean like there's like
that point.
the character, like a sprite, like just like stretches out and goes like?
What, in Secret of Mana?
No, like when something's coming right at you, like from the background into the foreground, and it's like a flat image, but it stretches out and comes flying at you and gets really big.
Oh, Alex, something I keep forgetting to mention. Sonic
pregnant?
4 Episode 2 is out if you want it.
Yes, I want it 9 times.
I felt it
Okay,
kick.
Is it kicking?
so Metal Gear Solid 5 is coming. I know, and
I thought they were going to stop at 4.
so did I. And it will be on Kojima's Fox engine that he's building, and it will be about Snake. Now, my first thought is,
Aren't they all about
what the
Snake?
hell is left to tell in that story? Metal Gear Solid 4 wrapped everything up, you know?
Yeah.
Snakes is pregnant.
Is it going to be in the future?
I would imagine it would be set after 4, but I trying to figure out what the hell story there is left to tell, because 4 wraps everything up in a nice, like, big, long ending.
Everyone dies,
Raiden,
right?
the real Hollywood story.
Well, they are making a game about Raiden that happens before Metal Gear Solid 4, and
Is it called Napoleon Dynamite?
it's called Metal Gear Solid Rising.
Is that the one
Revengeance.
where you get to play as a cyborg ninja?
Yeah.
From the first 2, I want to play that so bad.
He dies in the 4th one, though, right?
Raiden?
Yeah.
No,
Right?
he does not die.
Yeah, I heard he actually gets pretty badass in the 4th one. I mean,
He
he's
does.
fancy.
He quits sucking in the 4th one.
I'm
Okay.
disappointed. I'm still used to the days where
He's
he was
still
like
not as
slipping
cool
on
as
bird
Gray
crap.
Fox, but come
Oh,
on. Who's as cool as Gray Fox?
Did I hallucinate this, or was there a time when John Travaglio was over at our apartment playing Metal Gear and he spent like an hour just making Raiden slip on bird
No,
crap?
he was playing Metal Gear and John Travaglio was over at our work and going,
Yeah.
VR training.
We should have gone over this in VR training.
There wasn't bird crap in VR training.
That's what he was doing. Yeah, that was fucking
How
great.
we're doing that.
That shit was so fucking funny, though. Fucking loved it. I'm at a loss for what to think. It's not a prequel. It's not another story about Big Boss, which they don't really need to do because at this point they've done
Isn't Big
What?
Boss Solid
3
Snake?
games. No, Big Boss is his father.
Isn't he Snake Eater?
Yeah, he's in Snake Eater.
Wait, wasn't he? Yeah, wasn't he Snake Eater though?
He was called Naked Snake in that game.
Yeah, he was the guy that you played as, right?
Yeah. He was also in Peace Walker and Portable Ops.
Okay.
Was the main character of those two.
commander in that game was called Major Tom.
Was he?
Well, that
Yeah.
was his code name.
Did he die?
The commander?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't even in combat. He was
Was
the
he
guy
evil?
you talked to over the radio.
Oh. Was he evil?
I don't think he was evil. You know, I
No, the
played,
commander
like-
in that game wasn't evil.
Okay. Yeah, I played them. I played half of 3. and I didn't
Finish
know if it
3.
was- okay, yeah, I want to. That's
Finish 3.
Isn't
The
the
ending is amazing.
Isn't the Metal Gear just
I thought
the
the
thing?
ending of the second one was a good plot twist.
Trust me, this blows that out of the water.
Wasn't the
This is so much better.
wasn't the Metal Gear in the third one, which I guess is the first one? Wasn't it just a giant tank that shoots a nuke?
Basically, it was like a precursor to Metal Gear.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't a Metal Gear in and of itself.
Alright.
It's like, this is what we did before we invented Metal Gear. And they actually, like, you run across the guy who designed the Metal Gears, and he's actually got plans for ones that you see in future games up there on his wall. And that was a really fucking cool Easter egg, seeing that.
Metal Gears are just mechs, right?
Yeah, they're nuke-launching mechs.
Awesome.
I prefer a mech launching nuke.
Why does the
Just
game...
drops a giant mech.
It shoots mechs at you. That's smexy.
But yeah, Ian, definitely finished Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah. You know, I actually borrowed it from a friend of mine named JP like a year ago, and told him I'd play it. Didn't play it.
I thought you were always going over to
Get it
Timmy
back.
House.
Yeah, because I don't know.
You were going over to Timmy House.
Yeah, I don't
Tim Hoss.
go over there as much as I used to. I used to try to make it a routine, like to go there once a weekend so I could play that game. But every time I would go over, like they wouldn't want to play it. They want to do something else on their TV, or like it would be too hot in the room or something.
And then
you know,
ponies.
Yeah, and then ponies.
And then ponies.
And then ponies happened. And, yeah.
I just
And you're
fucking
like,
love,
"God."
like, Tim just made a Facebook message preaching about the fact that you blocked him. And he's like, well, I warned him that if you continue with the ponies, that's what I would do. So I fixed the problem. No more ponies!
What did I text? I said,
I warned him about the ponies. The ponies persisted. Problem solved.
No more ponies.
And then Turnbull chimed in and said,
Maybe it's because you're fat. That cracked me the fuck up when I saw it.
Immediately after that, because he didn't take it as a joke at all.
Has he deleted his account since then?
No, Tim's still...
fat.
Very
Still
much a
fat.
Facebooker.
I thought he had deleted his account, because I haven't seen him post anything in a long fucking time.
He always posts on Radio Schaefer.
Yeah, I need to get back on Facebook just so I can post to Radio Schaefer.
Radio Sheep.
Let's send out a word across the world on this show right now. Facebook.com/Radio Schaefer. I don't think that's what the URL is. It's probably way more look it up. Radio Schaefer.
Yeah, I just joined Radio
SHAFFER.
Schaefer myself.
Radio Schaefer blows up my cell phone. I have it set to give me warnings every time someone or something posts on it.
And you get
Radio Schaefer!
And by
Multiple
daily,
times
I mean
a day.
Multiple times a day.
Yeah.
It'll
I
set
know a
my
guy who
phone
does
off
that.
3 or 4 times a day, even if nobody comments on his posts.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, so there have been 2 more HD re-releases announced, and one of them is Okami, which is awesome, because that game, it deserves to get a lot more recognition than it has, because it's fucking amazing. The other one is Sonic Adventure 2.
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
I don't know if it's the battle version, it just said Sonic Adventure 2.
What is the difference, anyways?
I don't know either, I just know they added more content to battle.
One's science here.
Yeah, one's science here.
I'll never forget that when you wore the Dr. Insano goggles to the Monroe muffler place when I was getting my tires rotated. He's sitting there wearing the Insano goggles.
I was just sitting in the thing wearing these fucking goofy ass
And the
goggles.
guy, the attendant, the guy behind the register is like, "Are you trying to hypnotize people?" And he's like, "No, they're for science." And I was like, "Well, I don't get it. What do they do for science?" And he just casually goes, "They make you sciencier." Just left it at that. And I was like,
I thought it was a good answer.
That's the only answer.
"They make you sciencier."
I've actually still got the original versions of both of these games. I'm hoping that Okami will, and I doubt it will, but I'm hoping Okami will finally get the recognition that it deserves.
Me too.
It's the best Zelda game that isn't Zelda ever.
Okami?
Yeah. It's very, very similar. It's like, it's both unique
It's more Japanese.
and Zelda at the same time.
Wow, that's a contradiction.
I know, but it is. It's got a unique art style, so very unique look.
Okami is the game with the paintbrush. You're a wolf
Yeah.
and you can use
Yeah, that.
the sacred paintbrush.
Yeah, and that's what
paint
makes it
things into
unique.
existence.
But the dungeon layout and the world layout will very much remind you of Zelda. So it's like familiar and unique at the exact same time.
It's I played, I think, the introduction to it, and it reminded me a lot of Zelda: The Wind Waker, like the art style at least. It's cel shaded.
It's a little bit more serious, and I mean, it's still very much got a sense of humor, but it's a little bit more serious than that is.
Didn't Skyward Sword just come out?
In like December or November, I think. So like a few months ago.
And when's this game coming out?
It came out toward like 2004 or 2005.
Oh, it already happened.
Yeah, at first it came out for the PlayStation 2 and was critically acclaimed and well loved by everybody that actually played it and ignored by most people. Then it came out for the Wii and people said it was even better, and it still got ignored by most people. And now they're putting it on the PlayStation 3, more than likely with Move support, with HD visuals, so it will look even better than it ever has before. And it's a gorgeous game to begin with. Like, you should see it on the PlayStation 2. It's like probably the most beautiful game on that system.
Does the Vita have touchscreen?
Guys,
Yes,
I
it
have to
does.
go. I have
It's got
to
two
leave.
touchscreens.
I have to
Is
leave.
it 11:30 already?
It is. It's close to 11:30.
Dang.
I'm sorry.
That's cool.
That's cool, man. So we'll
Brothers
just-
got to do what a
carry
brother's
on.
got to do.
Yeah, just carry on without me, guys.
In fact,
we won't go on
See ya.
for too much longer.
Goodbye.
that's cool.
See you later, Tom.
Brofist!
Okami
Drive
is
safe,
actually
dude.
an extremely good game, and if you, Ian, you would probably like it because I know you like Zelda.
Zelda's like
Yeah,
his uncle.
Like I said, I played the introduction to that game, and it actually looked really cool. It's like an Oriental Zelda
But did
yeah.
it
with
feel
like a
like it
spiritual
looked?
theme, and you're a wolf instead of a person.
And a wolf who is like
Which is
a
basically
Japanese
us.
god.
Which is basically
Right,
like
or
a
a
Zelda game,
Japanese
anyways.
spirit at least. And I don't know about the whole paintbrushing
I think it was the
thing.
Japanese sun god.
Did you play through the game?
I've never beaten it. I need to get back to it and fucking beat it. But I played through a good chunk of it, and it is.
And there's
Does
even
the
like
paintbrush-
a flea that's like Navi.
Yeah, except
Oh.
nowhere near as annoying and funnier.
Does the paintbrush turn out to be just a gimmick, or does it actually incorporate itself pretty well into the
It
gameplay?
incorporates itself very well into the gameplay. And
It's like one of those puzzle-based almost. Where it's like, what do I have to do on this screen to
Yeah,
get past?
It's
Oh,
got
wait.
all kinds of puzzles that involve the paintbrush and the different strokes that you have to make with it. And like at one point you actually literally draw a sun into the sky and it brings color into the world.
Wow.
And you just like watch this sweep through and all these flowers start growing and stuff. It's
Wow.
gorgeous. It's awesome. I
Gorgeous.
love Okami. And I would highly recommend playing it, man. You would probably love it. And it would probably keep you busy forever. Because it's a long game. But it actually does have a sense of humor. Like, one of the later attacks you can get is that the wolf, like, pees on people. To distract them. They're like, what the fuck?
You said it was
Yeah.
a serious game.
Well, it's only semi-serious. It's definitely got a sense of humor, and it's
You
got
can't
like
just-
this
you
guy
can't
that
just come
claims
in
to be
here
the
and pee on
ancient.
your dad, pee on your dad,
Pee on your dad. Pee on your dad.
Run!
Kill your family. Kill your family. Kill your family.
Hey, this is the Kill Your Family show.
What's the matter, kid? Haven't you seen the Kill Your Family show before?
What was that
A
from?
Shizu, I always wanted a
Yu-Gi-Oh!
rag.
Abridged.
It is relative to my interests.
Who says that? I freaking hate that.
Relative to my interests. It's a sentence.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. First time I ever heard it was from Tommy Wiseau, of all people.
I didn't know it was a sentence used common enough that people have started to hate it.
I don't know. Tommy Wiseau. My name is Tommy Wiseau. And this is my Tommy Wiseau.
Today we answer time-old question.
Can bread fly? No, it cannot. Oh, dude, I need to get you to watch it. The Angry Video Game Nerd just put up a video called Least Likely Battles or whatever, and it's like pitting two people against each other that would never fight. And it starts off with
It's him and Mofo Mike.
Yeah, it's him and motherfucker Mike. And it starts off with him describing how the boss of Indiana Jones, Marcus Brody, would wind up fighting the cyber demon from Doom. And then he's talking about Indiana Jones solves all the mysteries on Earth ever and gets bored with this planet, so he goes to Mars to start solving mysteries there. And he's swinging back and forth between... Because Doom doesn't actually take place on Mars. It takes place on the two fucking moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos. So James is talking about Indiana Jones using the whip to swing back and forth between the two moons of Mars. And it just gets more ridiculous. But the most ridiculous was when they were describing how Godzilla would come to fight the Ten Commandments. The two stone tablets that the Ten Commandments are written on versus Godzilla. Dude, well, it started off with Godzilla pisses off the Ten Commandments by breaking every single one of them. And then the Ten Commandments rises and starts to fight Godzilla. And they're just fighting for a while, and the fight just kind of ends with no, victor or whatever. And then Godzilla's attacking Germany during World War II. So, and you know how in Indiana Jones, they're looking for the Ten Commandments. They're not looking so they could take over the world. They're looking so they could get Godzilla to stop attacking them, because they know the Ten Commandments is just pissed at Godzilla. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. I posted it on Facebook last night. I was like, I haven't laughed this hard in quite some time. It's well worth watching.
This guy's called Motherfucker Mike.
Yeah.
That's what he calls himself.
You've never seen him on Cinemassacre? He actually does more stuff on there than the nerd does now.
Well, yeah, that's because the nerd's been busy with the movie.
Have seen him. I mean, was he on there since we started watching it in 2007?
Yeah,
But he didn't do
a
much
lot.
for
But
Mike
Who is he? Is he the
Matei.
guitar guy?
No, that's
Kyle Justin.
Mike Matei played. You remember the Joker in his Batman review?
I do. Yeah.
That was Motherfucker Mike.
What about?
He also played the
I
Lion.
found out something interesting.
Oh,
Mike
the
is
Lion,
actually... I hated that. Mike is actually the one who got James, into gaming and stuff. Because,
No, James was in the gaming
he
before
was,
that.
he was into it, but he wasn't into it, in college, and he, went over to Mike's place.
So Mike was
And he started
the
seeing-
pioneer.
He was, seeing, systems he'd never even heard of. And he's like, oh my gosh, how much stuff do you have over here?
Mike Matei was
Mike is like
me,
everything.
but even more so. With a much larger collection than I've got. Mike Matei makes my collection jealous. But
I think the nerd's collection. The nerd is pretty close to having
a complete
every
NES collection.
NES game ever.
All 97.
Considering that they didn't really have regulations on what games came out back then and which ones were manufactured and put in stores.
I wonder if he has Battle Kid.
That's
Oh, I'll bet he does.
Oh, I know he's going to do a future episode on the NES game Predator, because Chad from Screw Attack and Jared from Screw Attack recently played that on their daily webcast show called Screwing Around. And they do Terrible Tuesdays, where they intentionally play god-awful games. And one of them was Predator for the NES. He's like, oh my god, this game is so bad that it is fun. Mm-hmm. So he took it over to James's house when Chad came down here for Too Many Games. And was like, James, you've got to play this. And James decided that he's going to do an Angry Video Game Nerd episode on Predator.
That's cool.
So that's for anybody of you who don't watch Screw Attack's podcast. First of all, you should. Second of all,
You suck.
they announced that on there, and now you know what's coming up for the Angry Video. You guys want to wrap this up because we're at
Did we do
57
all our
minutes?
topics?
Yeah, we did all our topics. I kind of wanted to make this a easier, kind of laid-back podcast after the last two, where it was all just like deep discussion about games throughout, because it was all E3 stuff. Okay, this has been another edition of Press the Action Button podcast here on digital-delirium.com. As always, I am your host, Joystick. With me was Tom, who already left. You guys heard him leave.
Bye, Tom.
Also with me was D-Pad. Say goodbye, D-Pad.
Check 1, check 2. How do you do? Good night.
And also with us this week was Gameface. Say goodbye, Gameface.
Okay. And then Dean died.
I just love
Winrick freaking Damon.
Yeah, Robert
Dean
Winrick
died.
freaking Damon. It's cyclical. We will talk to you guys next week here on Digital Delirium. Bye.